We're starting today in child's pose. Everybody in the studios are already there. Watch it at home. You can come there now. Take your first few moments just to arrive. Let your focus come to your breath. Let your breath guide you, ground you to your mat. Allow your breath to push all your other distractions to the background. So you can be here just fully focused on your mat, your practice. Fully present to your mat, your practice. I want you to feel like you've got that full focus on your breath. And you're going to add the element of control to your breath. Just breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Allow your breaths to become longer, slower, deeper. As you inhale, you're pulling the breath all the way down to your belly. As you exhale, you're pushing it all the way out. In that way, you can move just with one breath, one movement. All right, now when you're ready to start moving, right, now we're going to move from our child's pose. So if you're not already there, come there now. All right, all we're going to do, as you come into child's pose, just walk your fingertips over to the right. So you're kind of in the little, see, I can't here, move over, little cupcake hands here. Your fingertips are on the mat. Your little cup with your hands, your head strapped in between your shoulder blades. Push your fingertips into the ground so that your left hip comes towards your left heel. Even if it's not touching, even if it was never touching, right? Just push it down further so you start to feel that opening in your left side body. All right, now from here, we're gonna go the other way. You're gonna start to walk your hands over to the left. Same thing, right? You're those little cupcake hands, fingertips on the mat. You're pushing those fingertips into the floor, kind of pushing the floor away from you with your fingertips so your right hip comes further back towards your right heel. More breaths here. Back to center. Now this time, we're going to come up, right, into tabletop. As you come up to tabletop, you're going to drop down to your forearms, right? So you bring your shoulders over your wrists, or shoulders over your elbows, sorry, instead of over your wrists, and your hips are right over your knees. We're going to do our cat-cows right here, right, from our forearms, it's gonna feel a little different, right? But try doing the same movement as you inhale. You're gonna lift your chin to the sky, tuck your belly, or let your belly drop, right? Come up, and then as you exhale, you're gonna tuck your chin and round out. Back towards your knees. Just do that a couple times. Inhale, kind of lifting your chin, letting your belly drop. Exhale, tuck your chin, round your back. Just do it like 3 more times at your own pace. Inhale into cow. Exhale into cat. Inhale into cow. Exhale into cat. All right, do it 1 more time. And then from here, you're gonna come back up to your palms. So now we're just in our regular tabletop, right? Shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees. Now, take your hands, see if you can take your fingertips and bring them back towards you, right? So the eyes or elbows are forward. This isn't gonna happen, right? Anybody who's had recent wrist surgery, right? Then don't force it, right? You can just keep your fingertips pointed forward, all right? We're gonna do this a couple more times. So you're gonna inhale, lift your chin up to the sky, tuck your tailbone under, let your belly drop. Exhale, tuck your chin to your chest, round out your back, hollow up to armpits. All right, so we inhale to that cow position, exhale cat. So it's the same thing we just did, right? Same movement of the spine, just letting it feel a little different with a different arm position. Do it 1 more time here. All right, and then you're gonna come to a stop. Now flip your hands back around. So you're just in that normal tabletop position. All right, so we're gonna do these here. These are called jump ropes, right? It's a little bit different. It's kind of like a combination of cat-cow and those hip circles that we do, right? In the hip circles, you take your hips all the way around, right? Now, what we're gonna do here, right? You're just gonna bump your hips over to the right, but then you're gonna tuck your chin and round out, right? Almost like you're in a cat with your hips bumped over to the right. And as you inhale, you're gonna come back up, right? Bump your hips to the left, lift your chin. So it's like this, like doing a little jump rope over your belly. All right, you guys all got it. Do a couple more here. And then come to a stop. Now, as we come to a stop here, now you're gonna let your hips come to one side or the other. Okay? And we're gonna lay all the way down on our back. All right, so take your arms out long, tuck your chin to your chest, let yourself round all the way down. All right, so you're laying here on your back. My head is off the camera. Move a little bit. Right. Now, once you're laying on your back, take your feet out wide to the edges of your mat. All right, so your pinky toes are lined up with the edges of your mat. Let your arms go out long, like wings, in a T position. Right? As we exhale, we're just gonna let both knees fall over to the right. Keep your chin and your gaze to the left. Okay, so just like that twist we do, but your feet are nice and wide. Now you're gonna inhale, bring your knees back up to center. As you exhale, now let your knees fall to the left and look to the right. All right, now as you inhale here, bring your knees back up to center. As your knees come back to center, now you're gonna sweep your hands to your sides, palms face down. All right, you're gonna keep your feet wide. Press into the 4 corners of your feet. Lift your hips up off the mat. So you're coming into a gentle bridge, right? It just feels a little different with the feet wider. As you exhale, your hips are gonna come down. Now here, you're gonna draw your knees into your chest, right? Grab behind your legs. Now we're gonna rock up here. But as you rock up, you're gonna land in seated with your legs in that straddle position. So it's gonna look like this. Turn around here towards the front so everybody can see. All right, so I'm here in this straddle position. Sit up nice and tall. Sweep your hands up overhead. Now from here, you're reaching up, you're lengthening out. Then you're gonna take your right hand, wrap it around behind your back. Take your left hand, reach it over toward your right toes. Maybe you can touch them, maybe not. If you just land on your knee or your ankle or your shin, that's fine. Now you're gonna come back up, take both arms overhead. Now go the other way. Just wrap that left hand around your back, reach your right fingertips toward your left toes. Unwind here, come back up. Now this time, as we come back up, right, you're gonna bring your legs together. You're gonna bend into your knees, Put your hands back behind you, right? And then you're gonna push into your palms, push into your feet. Lift your hips up. Maybe till they're even with your hips or just as high as you can. If that's not gonna happen, now let your hips float back down. As your hips float back down, you're gonna extend your legs long. Take your hands up to the sky, and then you're gonna tuck your chin to your chest. You're gonna lay all the way back down on your back here. And we're gonna do that whole thing one more time. All right, so I'm gonna lay down here. It'll work if I do it straight ahead. All right, now from here, sweep your hands out to a T, bend into your knees, bring your feet wide so that your pinky toes line up with the edges of your mat. So we're gonna do this as a flow this time. We're gonna do that whole sequence we just did again, but we're gonna move a little faster. We're gonna move it with our breath. All right, so you're gonna drop your knees to the right as you exhale. Hold them up to center as you inhale. Drop them to the left as you exhale. Hold them up to center as you inhale. Sweep your hands to your sides as you exhale, keeping your feet wide. As you inhale, you lift your hips. Exhale, let your hips go down. Inhale, draw those knees in. Keep your hands to the crease of your knees. As you exhale, you're gonna roll up into that wide straddle pose. All right, take your hands up to the sky. Inhale, lengthen out. And then as you exhale, right hand wraps behind the back, left hand reaches towards the right toes. Untwist here, take your hands up to the sky. Go the other way, left hand wraps behind the back, right hand reaches towards the left toes. Take both hands up here, and then bring your legs together. Bend your knees, sweep your hands back behind you. Push into your palms, push into your feet. Lift your hips. Reverse table. Come back down, extend your legs. Sweep your hands up to the sky. So we're gonna do that all one more time, right? So tuck your chin to your chest, let yourself round. So you're laying all the way down on the mat. All right, once you're laying down on the mat, take your arms out to a T, bend your knees to that wide position. Keep your toes lined up at the edges of the mat. Drop your knees to the right. Pull them back up to center. Drop them to the left. Pull them back up to center. And then from here, sweep your hands to your sides. Inhale, lift your hips to the sky. As you exhale, come back down. Take your knees into your chest, right behind your knees. Rock yourself up into that wide straddle. From there, sweep your hands up to the sky. Wrap your right hand around your back. Reach your left fingertips towards your right toes. Unwind, rise back up. Wrap your left hand behind your back. Reach towards your right toes. Or reach towards your left toes with your right hand, sorry. Come back up. And then from here, bring your legs together. Sweep your hands back behind you. Bend your knees. Push up into reverse table. And then drop back down. Extend your legs. Sweep your hands up to the sky. And then tuck your chin. Let yourself round down one last time. All right, so now we're here on our back. We're going to take the knees, hug them into your chest. Right? And this time, you're just going to take your hands to the crease of your knees. We're going to rock ourselves back up just to a seated position. And we're going to come back around into tabletop. All right, now this time, as you come to your tabletop, you're going to tuck your toes under. Lift your hips up and back. Come into your first down dog of the morning. So your fingers spread wide like starfish. Get that pointer finger at the front of the mat. And your head drops to your shoulder blades, pushing your belly towards your upper thighs. Pushing your heels towards the mat. Now you can add some movement here if you want to. Then one knee and the other. Walking the dog. Maybe you're swinging your hips from side to side. Maybe you're just staying still. All right, now from here, bend your knees. Look between your thumbs. Just bring your feet towards your hands. Up that forward fold. Now your belly's touching your upper thighs. Your head's hanging heavy and long. Bend your knees as much as you need to get your belly to touch your thighs. You don't have to be straight-legged. Shake your head yes. Shake your head no. Make sure there's no creases in the back of your neck. As we inhale here, we're going to take a half lift into monkey. Just pull your shoulders even with your hips. So now your back is flat and the crown of your head is pointed forward. As you exhale, fold back down. This time as we inhale, we're going to take a big reverse swan dive. Come all the way up to standing. All right? Now, as we come up to standing here, right, you're going to take your right hand, just like we did before, you're going to wrap it around behind your back. Your left hand's going to come across your body to your right hip, and then let your hips twist to the right. Draw that right hip back, push that left hip forward. All All right, untwist, lengthen out, take your hands up to the sky. Now let's go the other way. Take your left hand, wrap it behind your back. Take your right hand across your body so it's on your left hip, and then turn to the left. Come back around, both arms up overhead. Now just grab a hold of your left wrist with your right hand. Pull to the right, side bend. Come back to center. Switch out your hands, grab your right wrist with your left hand. Pull to the left. Come back to center. Just press your palms together here and take a back bend. Push your hips forward. Take your chest and your gaze up. Inhale, come up tall. And then exhale, just bend your elbows. Let your hands come through heart center. As your hands come through heart center, start to hinge at the hip. Let yourself drop all the way back down into forward fold. All right, so we're gonna do that a couple more times through. Now that you guys have seen it, once again, we'll move a little faster. We'll move with our breath. So inhale, take your half lift to monkey, shoulders even with the hips. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come all the way up to standing. Exhale, wrap your right hand around, take that left hand across. Right, twist to the right. Untwist, take your hands up to the sky. Wrap your left hand behind your back, right hand to your left hip, twist the left. Untwist, hands up to the sky, grab your left wrist with your right hand, pull to the right. Come back to center, switch your hands, pull to the left. Come back to center, bring your palms together, take a back bend, hips forward, chest and gaze up. Inhale, stand tall, and then exhale, bend your elbows, hinge at the hip, come all the way down, forward fold. All right, one more time through. Inhale, half lift to monkey. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come all the way up. Exhale, take your right hand behind your back, left hand to your right hip, twist right, untwist, bring it all back up to center. Take your left hand, wrap it around behind your back, right hand to left hip, twist left, untwist here, hands up to the sky, grab your left wrist with your right hand, pull to the right, come back to center, switch your hands, pull to the left, come back to center, push your palms together, back bend, inhale, come up tall, exhale, hand to the hip, come all the way back down, forward fold. Now, from here, take one more half lift into monkey. Just pull your shoulders even with your hips. All right, then fold back down. Now, we're gonna come up here into a chair. So you're gonna bend your knees, send your hips back and down, peel your upper body up. See if you can reach your hands forward, right? If that feels like too much, you can always bring your hands to heart center. Now, what we're gonna do from here, right? You're here in your chair. We're gonna straighten out our legs, and we're gonna lift our heels. As you do that, right, you're gonna sweep your hands back behind you, and you're gonna start to lean forward, like you're diving into a pool, right? Maybe you can come all the way down and get your belly to your thighs, right? Maybe you're just at that halfway point where your crown of your head is pointed towards the mirror, right? Whatever you can do. Now, from there, drop your heels, bend your knees, come back up, reach your hand forward, come back to chair. All right, we're not gonna hold it as long each time, but we're gonna do that twice more, all right? So straighten your legs, lift your heels, hands sweep back, dive forward. Drop your heels, bend your knees, come back to chair. Do it one more time. Take that dive. Legs straighten, heels lift, lean forward, hands sweep back, and then drop your heels, bend your knees, come back into your chair. Take a deep inhale here, sink a little lower into your chair. And then as you exhale, you're gonna straighten your legs, drop your hands down to the mat, come to forward fold. Now this time, as we come to forward fold, you're gonna keep your right foot forward. Take your left foot, step it way back behind you. So we're coming to runner's lunge here, right? Turn sideways so you guys can see. Now, you're gonna take that left heel, dial it down so your left toes are pointed to the left. All right, then we're gonna rise up into warrior one. So you're just gonna peel your upper body up, square your hips towards the top of your mat, and reach your hands up to the sky. Maybe you can spin your pinky fingers in towards each other, look up at them. Maybe you're leaning back a little bit here. Up to you. All right, now from here, take your hands, bring them down to heart center. And then we're gonna twist to the right. You're gonna bring your left elbow over towards your right knee. It doesn't have to touch, maybe it does touch, maybe it's the inside of your right knee, maybe it's on top of your right knee, maybe you can hook it all the way over. Invite your thumbs, stay in your heart center. All right, now we're gonna untwist here. As you untwist, you're gonna push your right leg straight. Let your right toes turn here towards the front of the room. Take your hands, towards the right side of the room, front of the room for me, towards the left wall for all of you, right? So you're all facing the ball wall. You've got your hands up high. You're lengthening out your spine, this 5-pointed star. Now, turn your heels in and your toes out. We're gonna drop down into a goddess, right? That means you bend your knees, drop your hips, bend your elbows. Right, so your elbows come even with your shoulders. Pull your shoulder blades together, opening up your chest. It's like there's a string on your tailbone, pulling you towards the floor. All right, now I want you to keep your goddess legs here. Release your hands, bring them back behind you, and interlace them behind your back. Push your knuckles towards the floor, draw those shoulder blades together. Right? Maybe you're gonna lean back a little bit here, look up at the ceiling. All right, now from here, keep your hands back behind you, right? Turn your left toes totally towards the left side of the room. Then push your left leg straight. Now, turn your right toes back towards the top of the mat. Keep that bend in your right knee. Right, so now start to square your hip towards the front of the room. Right, and then from here, we're gonna dive all the way forward. Lean forward, bring your right shoulder towards the inside of your right knee. Let your head drop here, so you're looking back at your left toes. This humble warrior. Maybe you let that right knee come to the inside, or right shoulder come to the inside of the right knee. If you don't get it all the way to the inside, it's okay. It can be hovering above, but don't rest your right shoulder on your right knee. Now, if you can, you're lifting your hands up and off your low back. If you keep them on your low back, that's okay. Now, release your hands here. As your hands release, you're going to keep your right hand wrapped behind your back. That left hand's going to drop down. As you come up, it's going to reach forward. It's going to reach all the way up over your right shoulder. And you're looking over your right shoulder. So you came to this revolved reverse. And then from there, push your right leg all the way straight. Unwind your hands, right? So your right toes are still pointing towards the top of the mat, but your hips are pointing towards that left wall again. Grab your right wrist with your left hand and pull it towards the back of the room into your sky archer. So creating all that space in your right side body. All right, release your hands here, bend into your right knee. Drop down, come to runner's lunge. Now we're not done on the right side just yet, right? You're gonna turn those right toes towards the front of the room, and then you're gonna drop down to your left knee. So if you need a blanket underneath your left knee, make sure you have it there. You want your left knee to be back behind your left hip, right? You don't want it right on top, right? That's bad for your knee. Now, from here, we're gonna rise up first into a kneeling crescent. So you're gonna peel your upper body up, reach those hands up to the sky. Lengthen out, right? Try to keep that right knee right over the right ankle, but push your lower body forward. Like there's a board in front of your right knee that you're pressing against. You can't get past it, right? And then maybe here you can start to lean back with your upper body. Reach your fingertips back, look up. If that makes you feel like you're gonna fall over, don't do it. All right, now we're gonna reach our hands back up to the sky, straighten out that right leg all the way. Let your right toes flip up off the mat, and then back down into your half pyramid. Let your hands come on either side of your right leg. Drape that upper body over the right leg. Square your hips here. Bring your right hip forward. Push that left hip back. Let your nose come towards your right knee. Feel the sensation in your right hamstring. All right, now we're going to walk it forward here. Bend back into your right knee. All the way forward. Now from here, take your right toes. Just turn them towards the right side of your mat, as much as you can, right? Not that natural twist, but just kind of angle them out to the right. Your right hand's going to come inside, and then from here, just take your right hand, just press that right knee open a little bit. Look over your right shoulder. You can come up on the knife edge of your right foot. If that feels okay. And then bring that foot back around, turn those right toes back towards the front of the room. Take your right hand outside your right foot, so you're back in this kneeling runner's lunge. And then we're just going to tuck our left toes under, come up off your left knee, and then just step your left foot forward to meet your right. So you're back in forward fold at the top of your mat. All right. let's do that again. We're gonna do the chairs again first though, right? So let's do that again on the left side, and we will. But first we're gonna do our chairs again. So you're gonna bend your knees, send your hips back and down, peel that upper body up, reach your hands forward. So we're here in chair, right? This is your second time through with this sequence, right? So you get a little deeper this time. Sink those hips a little lower. Make sure you can still look down and see your toes, wiggle your toes when you're in chair. When you're in the chair, you want the weight all back in your heels. Obviously, we're gonna shift it when we come into those divers, right? And you want your hips far enough back that your knees aren't covering your toes. Right now, go to that diver's pose. You're gonna straighten your legs, lift your heels, sweep your hands back behind you, and dive as far forward as you can. Drop your heels, bend your knees, come back to chair. Do that twice more, right? Shift forward, straighten your legs, lift your heels, dive. Come back to chair. All right, last time. Lift your heels, straighten your legs, sweep your hands back behind you, dive forward, and then bring it back to chair. Take a deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, just straighten your legs. Drop your hands to the mat. Come back to forward fold. As we get back here, 2 forward folds. Keep your left foot forward. Step your right foot way back behind you. Come in to your runner's lunge. So get that left knee right over the left ankle. You want your right leg nice and long. We're gonna dial our right heel down to the mat here, so your right toes are pointed to the right, and then you're gonna peel it up into warrior one. Square your hips towards the front of the room. Reach those hands up high. Spin your pinky fingers in towards each other. Look back. Maybe you lean back here. Bring your hands back overhead. Now bring your palms together. Pull them through heart center. We're gonna twist to the left. You're gonna bring your right elbow toward your left knee. There you go. That's it. Right. Maybe you can hook that elbow over. If you can't, it's okay. Maybe that right elbow is on the inside of the left knee. Maybe it's right on top of the left knee. Right. You want your chest open towards the left side of the room, the crown of the head towards the front of the room. Now we're going to untwist here all the way to 5-pointed star, right? So you untwist, you push your left leg straight, turn your left toes towards the right long edge of your mat, take your hands up to the sky. Reach up, lengthen out, right? The whole point of 5-pointed star. It feels good, right? But it's to lengthen out the spine, to give ourselves that release. Right now, once you're there, you're going to turn your heels in, toes out, and then bend into your knees and drop your hips. Bend into your elbows, pull them even with your shoulders. Take a breath here in this full goddess, pulling your shoulder blades together, opening up your chest. Then you're going to drop your hands down. They're going to come back behind you. You're going to place them behind your back, pull your shoulder blades together, push your knuckles towards the ground. Right, maybe here you lean back and look up. Keep your goddess legs, right? Keep your knees arcing right along your ankles. All right, now bring your shoulders over your hips. Turn your right toes all the way toward the right long edge of your mat and push your right leg straight. Right, your left knee's still bent. Now you're going to take your left toes and just turn them towards the top of your mat. Let your hips go towards the top of your mat. And then from there, you dive all the way forward into your humble warrior. Bring your left shoulder towards the inside of your left knee. Let your hands come up and off your low back. If they don't, it's okay. But you're letting that out though, right? You should be looking at your right toes right now. All right, now release your hands. Your left hand's going to stay wrapped behind your back. That right hand is going to sweep forward and up as it reaches up. Your torso draws up. You're reaching those right fingertips over your left shoulder. Look over your left shoulder. All reverse. There we go. Now, push your left leg all the way straight here. Take both hands up to the sky. Let your hips turn towards the right long edge of your mat again. Grab your left wrist with your right hand. Pull towards the back of the room into your sky archer. And from here, you're going to release your hands, then back into that left knee. Drop your hands down on either side of your left foot. Turn your right toes forward. Right? Now here, we're going to drop down to the right knee. Now your right foot, let that left or that right knee be back behind that right hip. You want your left knee to be right over your left ankle. We're going to rise up here into our kneeling crescent. Just push away from that with both hands. Rise up, reach your hands up. Push that left knee forward, but not past your ankle. And then maybe if it feels okay here, you lean back. Look up. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. Reach your hands back up to the sky. Now push your left leg all the way straight. Let your left toes flip up off the mat, and then drop your hands down on either side of your left knee. Square your hips here. Push that right hip forward, draw, or left hip forward, draw that right hip back. Drape your upper body over your left leg, your left knee, right? Try to get that sensation in your left hamstring. That's what we want. All right, now from here, bend back into that left knee, walk it back into your kneeling runner's lunge. And then you're gonna take both hands to the inside of your left foot, right? Then take your left toes, turn them out to the left, right? A little angle, whatever's comfortable for you. You should have that foot still firmly on the ground now, right? Not an uncomfortable twist. Now, take your left hand, push against the inside of your left knee. Push that left knee up a little more. Maybe you come up onto the knife edge of your left foot. If that doesn't feel good, you keep that left foot flat on the ground. All right, now bring that left foot back down. Turn those left toes back towards the front of the room. Drop your left hand outside your left foot. Now we're going to tuck your right toes under, come off the right knee. And then step the right foot forward to meet the left. So now you're here in forward fold at the top of your mat. And the top here, so I'm going to grab one. From your forward fold, now you're going to toe with your feet out wide to the edges of your mat. Turn your heels in and your toes out. Right, you're going to bend your knees and drop your hips. We're coming down into our Malasana squat. So it's like this. Now, if Malasana squat is comfortable for you and you could hang out here all day, that's what I want you to do, right? Just stay right here. If it would be more comfortable to you to sit on a block, sometimes that helps, you can do that, right? If it's not comfortable with or without the block, or if you're at home, you don't have a block, you can always just drop down to your glutes and bring the soles of your feet together and come to bound ankle, right? I want you to be comfortable because we're going to use this time to reconnect with our breath. So notice if you still have full control of your breath. Notice if you still have full focus on your breath. If you lost either of those things while we were flowing, this is your chance to get it back. Slow your breaths again. Lengthen your breaths again. Deepen your breaths again. Two more breaths here. All right, and now we're all going to come back down. Now, what we're going to do here, we're going to come into tabletop as we come down. All right? We're going to do a little core sequence from here. Now, this is a lot on the wrists. Right? If it's too much, you can stay here in tabletop, right? Do a couple cat-cows, right? Or eventually we're going to come down to our belly. If you want to stay on your belly and just do the back work, you can, right? But we're going to be in tabletop. Now what we're going to do first, right? We're going to come up into down dog. So you're going to tuck your toes under, lift your hips up and back. So you're here in this down dog. Now, from your down dog, you're going to shift forward into plank. So you've got your shoulders over your wrists, your hips just below your shoulders. Now, if this is not comfortable to you, don't worry. We're not going to stay here for a long time. Right? What you're going to do here, you're going to bend your knees like they're going to come to the ground, but they don't quite come to the ground. And then push yourself way back. Right? So you're in this crouching down dog. All right, now push yourself back into plank. As we come into plank here, right? Drop down to your left knee. So let your left knee come to the mat. Kick that left foot out to the left. Drop your right heel to the ground. Take your right hand up to the sky. All right, so come this modified side plank. Now, if you want to make this a full side plank, you're more than welcome to. You want your left shoulder right over your left wrist. Right fingertips reaching towards the sky. All right, now drop this right hand down. Come back around. My left knee is still down. Now I'm going to send that left foot back, so I'm back in plank. And this time, we're going to lower all the way down to our belly, right? So you can do a full little chaturanga here, if that's in your practice, or just let yourself flop down. It doesn't really matter, right? But we're here down on the mat. I'm going to turn sideways so you guys can see this part at home, right? I'm all the way on my belly. My hands are at my sides right now. Now from here, I'm gonna sweep my hands back behind me, and we're gonna lift up. You're gonna lift your head, lift your shoulders, lift your chest, reach your fingertips towards the back of the room, squeeze your quads, your knees come up, lift your feet. We'll turn this locust. And then from locust, let your feet come down, bring your hands back by your chest, push yourself all the way back to child's pose. All right, so we're gonna do that again. All right, this time we're gonna take our side plank the other way. All right, so now you guys have the whole sequence. If any part of that is not gonna work for you, you know, you can be in tabletop while we're in the planks, or you can be on your belly the entire time. All right, we're gonna start coming back up to tabletop. Tuck your toes under, lift up to down dog. All right, shift it forward into plank, and then bend your knees, hover them, push it back. Come back to your plank. Now this time, you're gonna drop your right knee to the ground. Kick your right foot over to the right, drop your left heel, and then sweep your left hand up to the sky for your modified side plank. Perfect. Now, drop that left hand, step your right foot back, so you're back in plank, lower all the way to your belly. Sweep your hands back behind you and lift up into your locust. Bring your hands back by your chest, push it back into child's pose. All right, so we're gonna do that 2 more times. So we're gonna do 1 more side plank on each side, right? So we're gonna even ourselves out. So come up to tabletop, tuck your toes, lift to down dog. Right, shift to plank, hover your knees and push back, crouching down dog. Come back to plank. Drop your right knee, kick your drop your left knee, I messed that up. Kick your left toes out to the left, drop your right heel, take your right hand up to the sky, so taking that side plank to the right. There we go. Now, drop that right hand down, come back around, send your left foot back into plank, lower all the way down to your belly. Sweep your hands back behind you, lift up into your locust. Drop your feet, bring your hands to your chest, push it back to child's pose. All right, we just gotta do it 1 more time. You guys are loving it, I can tell. Come up into your tabletop. Tuck your toes under, lift your hips up and back, down dog, shift forward, into plank, hover your knees, push it back to that crouching down dog. Come back to plank. Now we're dropping the right knee, kick the right foot to the right, drop the left heel, sweep your left hand up to the side, modified side plank. Drop that left hand, take the right foot back, take it all the way down to your belly. Put your hands back behind you, come up into your locust, and bring your hands to your chest, push it all the way back into your child's pose. Now this time, you just get to stay in child's pose for a couple breaths, right? If you want to make it a passive child's pose and sweep your hands back, reaching toward your heels, you can. If it feels better to keep them reaching forward, keep them reaching forward. Let's take 3 more breaths here. All right, now when you're ready here, you're gonna bring it up to tabletop. We're gonna let our hips come to one side or the other. So we're gonna bring our legs around in front of us. Right? Now we're gonna come to kind of a version here of half frog, all right? So your right leg is gonna stay all the way pointed forward. Now you're gonna lean to the right a little bit, bend into your left knee. Now, you're gonna take that left knee, right? I bent my left heel back towards my left glute. Let your left knee angle out a little bit, right? So you can sit up. So it looks like this, right? If you need to take that foot away, you can do that. If your knee absolutely doesn't allow for this, right, then I want you to bring it to a half butterfly, where it's here, and you bring the sole of the foot against the right inner thigh, right? So these are all options. Find what's gonna work for you, all right? Now, we're gonna fold over this right leg here. So you're gonna angle yourself towards the right leg and just walk it out. If you're like me, when I'm in this half frog, half hero positions, I find myself listing to the right. Right? I don't want you to lean way over to the right. I usually just take my right hand and I press it in so I can keep my hips square. And then I reach with my left hand, still feeling the stretch through the right leg. Right? But I'm not tilting way over to the right as I do it. If your left hand or your right hand doesn't grab your right foot, hand can be on your ankle, it can be on your shin, it can be on your knee. Just take 4 more breaths here. And then from there, just let yourself walk up nice and slow. Right now we are going to lean a little bit to the right, so that you can take this left foot, bring it around. Now you want to step the left foot over the right thigh, then bend into your right knee and see if you can tuck that right heel in against the left glute. It's a little twist, it looks like this. Now if that's not going to happen, you can keep this right leg all the way straight, right? So we're going to take a twist here, we're going to twist to the left. So your left hand's going to come back behind your left hip. You're going to hug around your right knee and look over your right shoulder. And then untwist here, come back around to center. Step that left foot over, take your right leg out. Now we're gonna try those poses on the other side, all right? So you're gonna keep your left leg long this time, right? Lean a little bit to the left so you can bend into your right knee. So again, you wanna be able to sit up tall. If you take that right knee a little bit further away, right? It can be out, it can give you that nice wide base so that you don't maybe feel as much like you're gonna tilt to the left, right? It doesn't have to be all tight here. Now we're going to angle ourselves towards the left leg, and again, if this doesn't work for your knee, you can always bring the sole of the right foot against the left inner thigh for the half butterfly, but we're going to fold over the left leg. Again, if you feel like you're tilting way to the left, maybe you need to use your left hand and push up, and just reach with your right hand. Maybe you can just lean straight over that leg, and you feel like you're falling over, that's great. More breaths here. And slowly let yourself peel back up. Right now, peel back up. Right, lean to the left a little bit so you can bring that right leg around. You're going to take your right foot, step it over outside your left thigh, right? And then if you can, you're bending into that left knee, tucking the left heel in towards the right glute. If you want to keep the left leg straight, that's an option, right? Take your right hand, bring it back behind your hip, and then either your left hand hugs around that right knee, maybe if it's available to you, you hook that left elbow outside your right knee, look over your right shoulder, twist everything to the right. Twist here, bring it on back around. Step that right foot over. Unwind your left leg. So now we're just going to come to this supine position. You want your toes at the top of your mat. Right? And we're going to lay down on our back here. So take your arms long. Right? We did this before, but just with straight legs, right? We're just going to lay ourselves down on the mat. All right? Now, as we come to the mat, we're going to do one more stretch here before we go into our diversions. We're going to come into a reclining bound ankle. So you're going to bring the soles of both feet together. Let your knees fall out to the sides. Some of you might have done the seated version of this pose while we were in the Malasana. Right? Here, we're laying on our back. Okay, you can do whatever you want with your hands. Let me float forward here so I'm on the camera. Maybe your hands are just at your sides. Maybe they're out set T again. Right? Maybe they rest on your belly. Maybe you take them and press against your knees or your thighs to open those legs up more. Maybe you take your arms and reach them up overhead to open that upper body more. Do whatever feels good to you. If you want more sensation in your legs, whatever you're doing with your hands, you can move those heels closer to your body. If you want to back it off a little bit, you can push your feet further away, more of a diamond shape. Five or six more breaths here. Now, from here, slowly bring your knees back together. Put your feet just flat on the ground. Okay? We're going to come into bridge again, but this time your feet are just going to be at that normal hip width distance apart. Toes pointed straight towards the top of the mat. You're going to take your hands to your sides, palms face down, and inhale, press to the four corners of your feet, lift your hips up off the mat. Now, if you want to here, right, block, you can take a block and slide it under your hips, make this a supported bridge. Right? If you want to stay unsupported, using the strength of your legs to push your hips up, then you can do that, right? Either way, supported or unsupported, you want your shoulders at least slightly tucked. Let that chest puff open. Right? If you're in an unsupported bridge, you want to make it really deep. You can work one entire shoulder, then the other underneath your body. Clasp your hands underneath your body. Push your hips even higher. Right? Our whole goal here in this bridge is to increase the flexibility of our back, right? By pushing our hips higher. So if you're doing a supported bridge, you do it with the leverage of the block. Okay? If you're doing an unsupported bridge, you do it by utilizing the strength in your legs. You have to engage the quads, engage the glutes, engage the hamstrings. So take 3 more breaths here, wherever you are. Exhale next. Let your hips float back out to the mat. Nice and slow. All right, now if you still have that block in your hips and you want to keep it there for waterfall, you can, right? Or your hips can be flat on the mat. But we're going to take our feet straight up to the sky. Flex your feet like you're going to step on the ceiling, right? I'm in a basic waterfall here. My head, hips, shoulders all on the ground. Feet straight up to the sky. Right, if I have that block underneath my hips, makes this pose slightly more intense because I've elevated my hips slightly. Okay, so that's an option. If you want to, you can come to full shoulder stand. That's where you lift your hips up on your own. Put your hands in the small of your back so that you're supporting yourself on your shoulders and your forearms. Okay, so you can be in shoulder stand, you can be in waterfall, you can be in supported waterfall. We're all getting the feet to go from we're all getting the blood to go from the feet, where it pulls all day, back to our head and our heart where we need it more. In addition to that increased circulation, we're also naturally lowering our blood pressure. We're flooding the body with all sorts of anti-aging, anti-stress hormones. Lots of good things happen when we get a little bit upside down. So that's what we're trying to do here. Okay, when you're ready to come out of this, we're all going to come out of it the same way. Whatever version of the inversion you're in, bend your knees, let them scrape along your face and body. Slowly drop your feet back down to the mat. Now if you still have that block in your hips, you're going to take it out now. Everybody's hips come flat to the mat. We're going to come into our happy baby here. So in our happy baby, you take your feet up to the sky again. This time they don't have to come right over your hips. Maybe they're angled a little bit more forward. You separate your feet, maybe slightly, maybe a lot, maybe not at all. That's up to you. Bend your knees, maybe slightly, maybe a lot, maybe not at all. That's also up to you. Reach your same hand up for your same foot. If you can't grab your foot, you grab your ankle, your shin, your knee. Wherever you make that connection, it's good. Once you've made it though, You're gonna roll forward just slightly, make sure that sacrum, low part of your back, is pressing into the mat, and then you're gonna rock from side to side, giving yourself a little spinal massage. Should feel good as you do the rock. If it doesn't, then don't do it. You can stay still. Now that you're in the pose, you want to change it, go ahead. Maybe you take your legs wider, straighter, bend them more, bring them in more. Just find somewhere this feels really delicious to you. Hang out here for a couple breaths. All right, now from here, we're going to hug knees all the way into the chest. And then we're going to take one final twist. You're going to let your arms go out long, like wings, in that T position. And then as you exhale here, drop your knees to the right. Just let your left knee stack right on top. Left knee stack right on top of the right. Take your chin and your gaze over your left shoulder. If you want to make this deeper, you can. Take your right hand, press the knees closer to the ground. Maybe extend your legs towards your left fingertips, towards your right fingertips, not your left. Pretzels here. You want to keep that left shoulder anchored. That's what's giving you the twist. All right, now as you inhale next, bring your knees back to center. Now as you exhale, you're going to drop your knees to the left. Take your chin and your gaze to the right. You're going to take your left hand, push your knees closer to the earth. Take your chin, your gaze over your right shoulder. Again, same thing here. You can make it deeper if you want, or stay where you are. We always finish off this twist because they seal off our practice, and our bodies remember everything they did today. So next time we come practice yoga, everything's a little easier. We can go everywhere a little bit deeper. All right, as you inhale next here, bring your knees back to center. Give them one final hug into your chest. And let's set up for our final pose, our Shavasana. Right? So you can extend your legs long, hands to your sides. That's your traditional Shavasana, flat on your back. If that's not comfortable to you, you don't have to stay there. Right? You can always bend knees, butterfly your legs, roll to your belly, roll to your side. Just be somewhere where you're going to be able to stay perfectly still. Be perfectly comfortable. Most importantly, for your mind, it's going to be able to go perfectly quiet. Giving everybody in the studio a little spray with their costume, with their costumes. Sea salt. Right, you're at home. You have a towel, you can put it over their eyes. Otherwise, just close your eyes. Let your breath guide you to that quiet moment. You don't need to control your breath anymore. Let your breath go. Do what it wants to do. But at the same time that you're releasing control of that breath, keep your full focus on your breath. Keep noticing it. Keep observing it. And you can master that. Releasing control of your breath, but still keeping that full focus there. Can take you right to a place where there's nothing left in your mind but you and your breath. That's what you quiet the mind. slowly start to come back into the room. Wiggle your fingers, your toes, feeling that increased sensation that comes with a quiet mind. If you want to, you can take your arms overhead, a nice full, deep body stretch. And from there, just let yourself roll over onto your right side in fetal position. Take a couple breaths right there, just to reacclimate to our space. Let the sights, the sounds of the room come back to you. Take as long as you need right here. Then when you're ready, only when you're ready, push yourself up to seated. And we will close here. So we're going to close here with 2 Bhamari breaths and then an Om. Right? Bhamari breath, we inhale as we exhale, make that little humming sound in the back of the throat. The Om is beautiful syllable, it uses all parts of the throat. You can join me in these breaths, or you can just listen. But let's close our eyes here. We'll inhale together. Inhaling again. And then we'll inhale one final time and Om. Let your eyes drift open. Bring your hands to heart center. Thank you, all of you, for sharing your energy, your practice with me this morning. Delight in me, honors delight in each of you. Namaste. All right. So I will see you all again on Wednesday night for some yin, so come join me then. Liza will be here tomorrow morning with some Payo, and if you need more gentle, Heidi's here tomorrow night at 7 with some gentle, so come join them. I'll see you Wednesday. Bye.